Right, Shalom, I'll give all praise unto Yabashima Shah, Bashima Kohakodash. Double honors unto the apostles of great millstone. And honest brothers that be pushing this truth in sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. The Bavai body are coming out here to give you this truth for the grace and mercy of Yahweh, Bashim Yahweh Shai, Bashim Kohakodash. So this is going to be a relatively quick lesson, and we're just going to be speaking about England, current financial situation that you have out here within England, and what they hope to do in terms of bringing the MOTB out. And I'm just speaking as a man, so if it doesn't play out exactly how I've said it, well, we still know that the MOTB is coming, the CHIP is coming. So what we got here is a statement coming from one of the top guys, I believe. Yeah, one of the top guys here within England when it comes to finance. I'm trying to read this thing as I drive to my location. And pretty much what they're saying is the Bank of England must create a recession to fight high inflation. All right, Hunt advisors say. So that's the big controversy right now within England, and how they how this inflation is basically creating, and that's probably going to be the title of the video, a mortgage time bomb, right? So you got what's known as what they're calling a mortgage time bomb. That's the marketing term that they got, which basically means that every time somebody's got their mortgage up for renewal, as of late, they're pretty much fucked, so to speak, right? They're pretty much fucked, so to speak, because it's gonna be very expensive. So at the beginning of, or at the end of last year, the rates were like 1%, 2%, and that encourages growth within the market, because when you got low interest rates, businesses borrow more, and there's a boom. And what you see with the history is, after the 2008 crash, they put the rates right low, and it was easy to borrow, and that stimulated growth. So now they're doing the opposite thing, and we know why they're doing the opposite thing, because we're getting ready for this society to be destroyed. It ain't time to be out here buying houses and having living the white picket fence lifestyle. That's not the times that we're in right now. We're in the time where the Lord is putting the spirit upon the red Hebrew Edomite to pursue the CHIP, right? The red Hebrew Edomite is pursuing the CHIP, and in order to do that, they must first destroy this current financial system. And you better believe, when you had Brexit, they calculated how much impact that was going to have on the society at large. When they had the C-19 stay-at-home payouts, they calculated again how much impact that was going to have on society as large. So now we're getting a shortfall of it now. And when I say we, I mean these people. Not really, we look forward to it. Yeah, you might have a hard situation where you might lose your job, or your good paying job, or whatever, but reality of the situation is, we understand from the scriptures that the men of the Lord, they was going to eat, right? The men of the Lord was going to eat. So as this society crumbles, it's necessary to remember these precepts, because although we might be losing out, so to speak, really we're not losing out, we're gaining, because our gain is the downfall of this kingdom. Scripture talks about how that two kingdoms shall not stand up, and you ain't gonna have one kingdom stand whilst another kingdom rule. You're gonna have a situation where Esau's kingdom must be destroyed, and then the rulership of the 12 tribes of Israel was gonna begin. So we when we see news like this, and we go into topics like this, and these other camps, they don't like going into topics like this, because it inevitably means that they lose the place that they've carved out for themselves here within this kingdom. And that's what it comes down to. See, we ain't got nothing that we don't want to lose. And that's the mindset you really want to have. You want to have the mindset where you ain't got nothing that I mean, that doesn't mean you don't have nice things, but I don't get nice things so nice that I don't want to lose it. It's like, bro, everything's gonna get burnt up. All your stuff in the apartment's gonna get burnt up, right? Your woman might get burnt up. Your children might get burnt up, man. This is how deep it goes. Okay, this is how deep it goes, and this is why the men of the Lord, they always said, look, if you got something that Yahweh Shai said it, You ain't really supposed to have something that you ain't supposed to leave at the drop of a hat, man. That's how the Yahweh Shai wants it. Yahweh Shai wants it where you are not bound to this society. Whether it be a house, you know, I mean, that's a you know, kind of like a good way to have it. You have something nice, but you don't have it so nice that you're unwilling to lose it. That's how I'll say, you know, you want to live, man, because we got to give up all of this stuff. You see all of these people that had their hopes and dreams in this society, especially Jake too, they're through right now. Okay, they're through right now because they thought the Lord wasn't gonna destroy this kingdom. They thought they'll pray for the economy to get better, and you got Jakes out there that actually pray for the economy to get better. If you can believe that, you got Jakes out here that pray for the economy to be better. You got Jakes out here that pray right for the president. There's Jakes out here that pray for Biden's health, man. It's wrong mindset to have. So not to stray too far away from the topic. Let's go back into the topic. So from the C19 thing, they calculated the implications, and the implications was going to be inflation, right? And from what else did we have? We have had other situations that was, you know, devastated the economy. From Brexit, they calculated how much impact it was going to have on the economy at large. So now we're seeing the shortfall, and now you're seeing them hike up the interest rates to so-called slow down. I mean, surely you want to be stimulating growth, right? But they want to slow down inflation. Now there's debates of whether this whole thing of interest rates is a old system, an old way of doing things. Okay, there's something known as the new economic theory, right, where you just let the economy grow. So I say all of that to say this, because really it's not about this economy growing. It's about bringing forth the CHIP, right? It's about bringing forth that hard time that's spoken about within the book of Jeremiah, the 30th chapter, the time of Jacob's trouble. See, that's what these Jakes don't want to speak about. These other camps, they don't want to speak about the time of Jacob's trouble. We know the time of Jacob's trouble is coming, man. And yeah, people gonna lose houses, right? People gonna be put in a situation where they're gonna be losing their place where they got to live. Now, what do we see with the C19 thing? They had a situation with the C19 thing, and this is one of the programs that they got out here. They had a program where pretty much if you lost your job, they couldn't evict you. You had like a year's grace period. So with the C19 thing, they had that measure, and now they got the same measure back in force. So can you see how the crisis changes, right? The crisis changes, but the agenda is the same. That's how you know it's all orchestrated. How can the same measures, the same tools that they had 2 years ago, they're gonna use the same tools, right? The same so-called fiscal tools that they had to keep the people happy, quote unquote. You know, buy the people time, quote unquote. But really, you're getting deeper and deeper into the hole. They're using the same economic tools to keep you afloat. So they put that into legislation now, where you can't get evicted if you lose your spot or whatever. You can't lose your spot if you you know, if the rates get too high. You can keep your spot for like a year. So what does that remind you of, right? You shall own nothing and be happy about it, right? The idea of private ownership, that's a thing of the past. And this whole interest rate hikes, these rate hikes, they're all a part of the same story, right? These rate hikes are all a part of the same story, right? You got a bank out here called Lloyds TSB. They're like the main, they want to be the main landlord. Now think about that, right? Big massive bank. They want to be the main landlord out here within the UK. They want to be the one that owns all the property. So when these people start getting their houses repossessed, you better believe Lloyds TSB is gonna be the ones that's gonna come in swooping with the rescue. You're gonna say, no, you can stay over here. That's all good. But you gotta, you know, you gotta live by these terms, right? You gotta get the social credit. You gotta get X, Y, and Z. And it's all linked up, man. Right? See, the scripture talks about how the apostles speak about how the men of the Lord, they were visionaries, and we can visualize these things. We can see these things. We can see these things coming to pass. Okay, we can see these things coming to pass, right? And it's a beautiful thing what we're seeing, man. We're seeing these things coming to pass, man. So I mean, hopefully that was a verification. I know it's like a in transit rant style video, but hopefully it was a verification. And you gotta keep a watch on these things, right? Keep a watch on these things, and watch this man. This man is getting ready to come down like the devil that he is, and you know we love that. Okay, he's gonna show his truest nature, and we love that, because when he shows his truest nature, when you see the fangs come out of him, that's when you know the Lord's round the corner, man. So you know, shalom. Hopefully that was a verification.